Smart 24, driving business.
Good morning, everyone. That's hooked onto Smart Means Business and Smart 24 TV at large. To those that have been onto the show since early in the morning when we had Fowler, thanks so much. And to those that have just joined us, welcome yet again to another edition of the morning show, Smart Means Business. It's a fresh week, new ideas, new everything. So as the week starts, a lot has been ongoing even prior. When you look at the local market, so many things are ongoing, owing to the fact that our major focus area is usually business and the economic outlook. So today we shall be looking into a very pertinent matter regarding the local market and basically how we transition from the local market to the regional and then the African continental free trade area. So health and investment, or call it science, health, and the business. So since 2018, we've had a series of innovations pertaining health and then the economics. How does the health be transitioned into an economic aspect? So that is the journey since 2018. When you talk about Kazire health products, there are so many things that pop up into the minds of the people. The beverages that so many people love, but there's a journey to that. So joining us today for a very pertinent conversation regarding an economic breakthrough. So apparently on the market we have a key product, that's Vidicine. It addresses a health aspect. And usually when we talk about health, there's nothing you can do without proper health. So joining us in studio to understand the mileage, why we have Vidicine on the market, and then the impact that we ripple down to the different aspects of the economy. You're looking at the agro industry because most of these products are sourced from agricultural products. It's been a journey. So joining us in studio is Dr. Edward Kazire, the ED of Kazire Health Products. Doctor, I'm glad to be having you today on the show.
Thank you, my brother, for hosting me on Smart 24. And I'm glad to all the people who are watching us and who are listening to us, because you are the reason why we have made it to where we are for the last 25 years in business.
The last 25 years. That seems a long time coming into 2025.
Yes.
Let's talk about primarily, if you are looking at 25, it's a broad timeline.
Yes.
Let's look at the inception. How do you choose to get into this particular niche? You're looking at health, you're looking at investment, particularly health leaning.
Thank you so much. Started in 1999, almost in the last century, when I had joined Makerere University as a student of science, and where I was always in love with the chemistry. And here was this Dr. Grace Nambatia. She was so passionate about natural products. And by then, she was working with the natural therapeutics. By then, it was still a laboratory, natural chemotherapeutics research laboratory, which she guided. But my special focus to lean towards a natural medicine came when every moment I would pass along the road and you hear someone talking about a certain treatment for something, and later as you try to interact with this person, you hear there is some other story behind that, you know, this thing, when you take it, then the judges. Then it caught my interest as a Christian to try to understand the gap and the where do the judges come in with the plant which was created by God, then that's when it brings good health, which health is provided by God. So then it pushed me to try to understand where is the gap between spiritualism and science. And I had a lot of interaction with the traditional medicine practitioners in Katwe. And I finally discovered that indeed natural medicine was medicine. But there was need for scientists to come out and demonstrate this. And one of the key challenges that was happening before 2019 was that Uganda as a country was being led in the area of natural therapeutics, was being guided by the witchcraft bill, which the Europeans had left with us here, meaning that it was a hindrance for any professional scientist to come in, because the bill at hand was the witchcraft bill. So it's only us of the Dr. Grace Nambatia, Professor Gwang, by then he was working with Ministry of Health, he had not joined Mbara University. Dr. Duncan also, he was still working with with Makerere University, he had not joined Mbara University. The Dr. Sekajas, us who agreed that in our professional manner, we be branded witches so that we can now interact with traditional practitioners, so that we bring to interpret traditions and uses. Because why is this traditional practice early in the morning? For him, he would take it as a ritual. But scientifically, if the compound which is responsible for treating the disease is a volatile compound, then you must harvest early in the morning before sunshine hits it and you lose the vapors of this oil. So one would say for this product to soak it in needed to bring the science of understanding that the active molecule, the compound that really heals, is soluble in organic. Won't easily dissolve in water. So all this needed to be worked on. And why we are excited and feeling great is that by 2019, with the challenge of COVID-19, Museveni and complementary medicine bill. This bill made and emphasized that traditional medicine is medicine, not witchcraft. And opened the gate for science, the development of natural products. And this is when universities opened, Ministry of Health opened up, and the National Authority put specific for traditional medicine practitioners, which is headed by Dr. Mkyaba at the this way we began to be engaged in means for the development of the national pathogen economy. Why pathogens become an economy is that we spend on health. We spend to manage pathogens. So, meaning, if we developed this, why during COVID-19, some countries made money. Their economy grew because their scientists had so for the challenge that some countries ran in managing this challenge. So this became an eye-opener for Uganda, and that's when or scientists, bridges or gaps between various research institutions of government which were scattered. That is the National Therapeutics Research Institute, universities like Makerere, especially the faculty Department of Pharmacy, STEMA University. They have a department for development of natural therapeutics to bring and on board practice of natural medicine to make sure that standardization is done. After the World Health Organization, it agreed and put a document for standardization of natural medicine, meaning that in quotes, WHO also agreed that the natural medicine is medicine. Some of the standards that we used to design and develop drugs following WHO guidelines. Organization that's through the process of drug discovery, which starts from the time when you identify the plant and which disease it is managing, the time when you identify its safety, the time when you identify its efficacy at in vitro level, where you bring the medicine and the virus in the test tube and be sure that this drug is able to kill this. Called cytotoxicity studies, where I am not killing the virus and at the same time killing the cells of the body. I need to make sure that this is in the body only. That is called toxicity. During struggling to establish the therapeutic dose. How much drug am I able to give so that I only kill the virus but I don't kill the body cells? And of course, this called for this innovation had to come in, whereby you would look at in science we call them synergistic effects, the total added effects of the various plants. Now, in the design for Vidicine, we were targeting the issue and major challenge which was at hand of COVID-19. And in this, we had to gather up plants which have antiviral properties because COVID-19 was caused by a virus. It was a viral infection. But also we know that all viral infections lead to suppression. The immunity, the ability mechanism of the body breaks down. So we had to work and bring in also plants which are immunodulating properties, which have the ability to improve the immunity of the body. The minister was talking about this when the scientist explained it was patient more than what the orthodox medicine would do. The niche behind it, the molecules are managing to kill the virus, others are building the defense mechanism of the body so that total healing to this person. So, which is very complicated. It is not easy to achieve that in synthetic pharmaceutical products. These are single molecule products. So that's why therapeutics are now growing in popularity and in demand globally, and where Uganda has a niche, because Uganda is the largest global in the bioflora.
Just before into Vidicine and what it basically is. Let's go back a little bit. If you look at the local market, what has been your assessment, considering the big product line? We're looking at things like power tonic, among others. In your assessment, how broad is the economic sense of the Ugandan health outlook?
Thank you so much. You know, in health, when we are looking at indicators of a good health sector system, we are looking at how many people are kept at home doing production. We are looking at people who are keeping all the year round in office serving because they are not sick. Not how many beds which are being always occupied by patients. By already a broken down healthcare system. So, a health system efficient is by are always living healthy. That's why health was looking to be to take up, so that take as a drink for preventive medicine. So products should be, we have vision for natural therapeutics, pure curative drugs. All these processes you are hearing through clinical trials, like now Vidicine is ready to go national referral hospitals, to also be exposed to other countries in their and can now prescribe a health work. Now, before we reach to where you are so sick, this is where we have them together into a drug which can move it. For example, an body fire a food, but then I can cancer, but I know when they attack the prostate, tonic can relieve. But now you want government adds us more the preclinical studies, the which you have been using various today, addressing the nation, we are more funding and developing this drug. People whom I have was my and was my, but we must that traditional medicine working. People can, but they can agree and believe in it. Yeah.
And then other aspects, national interlinked between the national government you are doing. The different products that you're for us a link between and how the agro industry
in natural therapeutics, two methods of generating the molecule which we use. One of the methods is this, and it is the common method. Why? Because the molecules which help in treating produced by the plant from the environment. Why? You can here. It happened this European with a mission to carry most of the plants here, and they went to some of the traditional healers in Bushenyi, one institution which they went and they had believed that they had carried all the knowledge with them and the plants. But country planting houses the metabolites, the special molecules needed. This is so come back. To come directly back to you. I have gone to West Africa. That's where they are harvesting these plants. So, meaning the condition of Uganda and the chance of fight even in terms of money. So now, you of natural things, you cannot do to the farm. So you must have farmers who will be involved in planting of 530 farmers. I wish to let you know that a plan. It's a commercial plan. So coffee and tea. I wish to know that under a lot of money will be medicinal plants. And that's why we have already at 1,000 acres of land. $110 farmers.
concentration being?
The concentration is in I think is the leading so far with about 1 million, 1 plus households which are farming. They now followed by, but at 1,000 farmers established distribution chain in Tanzania. To year was in with the to be frying with the Minister for Health in Southern Sudan, so that we are able to have especially in clinical research as of now.
Enlighten us. It's been some big jump. Let's look at the
Yes.
The players in there cite out one.
Yes.
How easy has it been to arrive?
So much. Many people have been saying I've been in practice for long, or the last 25 years, but they cannot see my investments, they cannot see my arcade. But my arcade is in research. We have invested over 15 billion in research for preclinical studies of various medicinal plants, medicinal formulas. Yes, 15 billion Ugandan shillings. We have about 17 formulas. Just government has funded one through a clinical trial, Vidicine. Like I said earlier, I'm engaging the minister on to expand our clinical trial on a product for peptic ulcers called Arsaton. It's already notified by National Drug Authority. It is in various pharmacies, especially eco-pharmacies. It's already available. But once government avails us funds through STI, then this studies, we don't want some has taken Arsaton, then also he has a referral from a friend, and again goes buys Arsaton, then ends up having an overdose. So that one is already notified by ND. So many formulas we have already developed them at a stage where they can be sold locally in our local pharmacies. But we want government to come in and put in support. Then one other key supporting factor has been the partnerships between universities. I'm extremely grateful to Mbarara University of Science and Technology. It is a government university. I'm grateful to its leadership, by then the VC, Professor Pauline. She's part of CONAT. Actually, she was on the research for Vidicine. So she knows the need for knows the support from universities, because the university availed that with equipment to help us develop these formulations, but also beyond 6 billion, because it was about 6 point something billion to really run this clinical trial to the end. So it is quite expensive. what you are working is a product that is lasting for all the time, always building health. So to build health, to sustain health in a person is not cheap.
First is the break. This is smart means business. Call it SMB, and of course, smart for television. I'm Ivan Tivenkana, and in studio here, when we come back, the conversation still continues. I'm with the ED Kazire Health Products. That's Dr. Edward Kazire. The conversation is very big, but when we come back, we shall look into 2 or 3 other aspects of this entire conversation. One is the general impact. You're looking at import substitution and net import as a country, including the drugs that we consume almost on every single end when we are bedridden or seeking medication. So on one end, we shall be looking into the import substitution and then leveraging the local and international market. So those are the aspects that we shall be looking at when we come back later on after the break. Still, we're looking at the impact of climate. This is basically you're getting products out of agriculture. And when you look at agriculture, it's one of the most hard hit. The conversation continues. This is Smart Means Business.
Smart 24, driving business.
We all have that one friend. Oh, garden place where with your BF Go TV upgrade or reconnect to Go TV. Go TV Uganda, love it.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. Hey, the taste of Uganda. Yeah, the taste of Uganda. Fortune family, the taste of Uganda.
Here's your school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using
nemubuulira amanya ge nangamba oyo ne MTN wawangudde school fees gwe muwanguzi wa wiiki eno.
dial star 160 star 8 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You are now
driving
All right, welcome to break. Those that have just joined us, it's a big conversation. Yesterday we just had one of the major pronunciations in the country when we had to believe and get to know that one of the most effective health innovations is certainly on the market. That's Vidicine. To those that have just joined, besides us looking at the different consumables, usually someone refers to you that please pick up that particular consumable. It will help solve this and such. The conversation still continues, is openly on the market, or green light has been given. So let's look at the product itself. You talked about addressing COVID-19 related challenges. Paint the picture quite broadly. What does Vidicine specifically address?
This was tried both on COVID-19 and other acute respiratory infections. And when we talk about the acute respiratory infections, these our respiratory system that is from the nose up to the lungs. And one key thing, like I said, when we were formulating it, we were looking at plants that we had used before. In hospitals. So the only way to help the local community disease was to make sure you give a solution that can allow them to keep breathing well while they are taking their hospital treatment, so that they don't get into the coma, which was the biggest challenge. But also was to look for plants which had antiviral properties, since we knew that COVID-19 was caused by a viral infection. But also, we knew that viruses suppress someone's body. So we needed to also put plants that boost the immunity. Then, with those three combined factors, treatments. In addition to this, you look at the key symptoms that you are having respiration. One of them is coughing. And when you take this drug, your cough heals within 4 to 6 days. Then you are sure that now you are different types of viruses that cannot be identified up to now to be clearly described. So through that, you are sneezing every time and again, you are tearing the eyes, even to a level that, like in the young ones, there is even onset of fever. So here is where Vidicine now comes in place. Sour throat. People get sour throat to the level that they cannot even swallow. So when such a symptoms come up, Vidicine is the way to go, because it is safer, efficacious, and boost of rapid healing because of the immune boosting plants that we combine in preparation. So that is basis, and you see your child getting that wheezing cough, difficulty in breathing, then you don't think of any other thing. The product that is now classified and believed scientifically is Vidicine.
Let's talk about the believability. The people someone says Panadol.
Yes.
Someone is very free to look out for it.
Yes.
And even if the over-the-counter medication prescribes just that, the people will ably take up the medication.
Yes.
How have you made it a foundational element that the public believes in the products that want to the
I think even technology is not like a storytelling, where you come on this television and you begin to, I will construct a flyover here when it is not possible. Medicine. And for the last 25 years, we have handled life. We have given treatments that spoke to people's bodies, and that's why Kazire is trusted. Right now, if you go to every pharmacy, for example, this Kazire aloe vera, which people call Kazire for malaria, we are in touch with the STI. We are submitting samples for the clinical trial. But people have been buying them, in reverse pharmacology, they are seeing people already using the product already working with the people. Someone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer comes, I kept taking Kazire Power Tonic. Now I was not releasing my urine well. Now I can release it. Taking Kazire Power Tonic every day, it has gone down. So these indicators keep coming from the users. But scientists want to believe them clinically, where they are seeing you with their eyes when you are using it. On a ward. That's why Mulago Hospital offered a ward where they bring you in, they put you in on the bed. So that's why Panadol, together like now Vidicine, scientists have said we tested the disease in the person we saw. We gave the medicine we saw without adding any other thing. The person healed. So the bias before has been someone thinking that maybe when this person was at home, used another medicine, it is the one which healed, not this herb. So that's why the clinical trial now comes in to streamline all these. When they are setting the experiment, the trial process, they make sure they take into consideration factors. And that's why today, Vidicine is trusted like Panadol is trusted. Then people who are taking Power Tonic for cancer, prostate cancer prevention, every man beyond now, I could say, any man at 35 must be Kazire Power. Why? For prevention. We will
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the clinical trial. What goes into it, and then the particular time frame that you look into and say, okay, Vidicine is coming into.
Yeah, the first thing and you can use the government chemists in Wandegea, at Ministry of Internal Affairs, test compounds which are present, so that it's not fine. We do in vitro studies whereby you bring the medicine into a test tube, and the virus or the bacteria or the disease of interest you are trying to do, depending on the type of disease, it describes the protocol. Tube level in a Casumoro, test tube is a Casumoro bottle where you put the blood carrying the disease and you bring it on. And with special machines at set conditions in vitro study, you are able to see that yes, the medicine has managed the microorganisms which are causing the disease. So the disease should end. Then from that stage, you have now to take this medicine into a system, a body system. That's when we use humanized rats. These are rats which have been genetically modified to behave like a human being. So this is very expensive. So we try the medicine. So if these rats, we cause them the disease and give them the medicine. Since they are humanized rats, then we are very sure, given to human, this human being might heal. But also, at that stage, we remove organs of this rat, the liver, the kidney, the blood samples, to see the heart, to see the effect of using these internal organs. If the liver is not affected, the kidney is not affected, the heart is not affected, then we know in a human being, because this is a humanized rat, a rat that has been changed to be like a human being. So we are sure that even in the human being, it is going to be safe. So at that stage, you can now but you cannot take it in a hospital, prescription by the doctor. Also, you cannot export it. So at that stage now you need to for a clinical trial. The physicians come together, the pharmacists, to learn and see that yes, this drug, they must learn. When the drug is taken into the body, what does the body do to the drug? Does it let the drug reach the body cells, or it? So that's what they do pharmacokinetics and thermodynamics on the product, so that they are able to tell the bioavailability of this drug. Does it? They remove a blood sample and test to see that this medicine reached the blood. So that's why the person is getting healed, not just by mere thoughts. Then from that stage, then they are able to see also what does now the medicine do to the body. First is seeing what the body does to the medicine. Then after, see what the medicine. But in this case, when medicine reached the body, it did wonders by healing the body.
That's quite interesting. We're running out of time, but before we call it the end of the conversation today, we are talking science.
Yes.
Basically, science defines our progress. If you look back at the the general trend of civilization
Yes.
and development. Let's talk a little bit about
Yes.
there are some innovations. Your innovation sustains essence in the local market and then prevent the biggest stakeholders in the country.
Thank you so much. I don't think Covidex is in the clinical trial process. Good head of department. Jenna Herbals is strong, very strong. I think in Uganda, the few companies which have a manufacturing license for drugs from National Drug Authority is Jenna Herbals, Kazire Health Products, and Doctor's Choice in Ginger for herbal medicines. So when you look, we look at the key thing is keeping the standard. That what was today is what will be tomorrow and what will be continuously. And this calls for a smart quality control. The profiles for our products at Mbara University of Science and Technology, and that's why I'm grateful to great researchers in this country. He's called Dr. Ajayi or Sanjo. He's a Nigerian, but that's why
We are a net importing country. You're looking at different consumables, different products, medicine, basically from India and other countries. What does it mean in regard to import substitution, Uganda's strategy for Buy Uganda?
one key thing is that these products are going to go to the national medical stores. They will be available. The thing is more, they strong. Safe. Money spent on importation of drugs and the 50 million USD every year. So this could come down. When you look at the National Pathogen Economy Work Plan, which we discussed some 3 years ago under the with the STI, under the guidance of Honorable Musenero and the President of the Republic of Uganda, we set a projection that by 2032, we should have 50% of the essential drugs being already produced locally here. You have heard also of the another innovation going on in Matuga. We have Day Biofarm. It is going to be manufacturing antibiotics, while we are handling natural therapeutics, but also synthetic therapeutics are being taken care of. Government is economic. This means we our presence in Southern Sudan. We have a partnership going on where we are discussing trade links with the United Arab Emirates. Kazire is in Kenya. The export, the market that we have we are looking at the continental market so that we will be able to bring in revenues to Uganda. We will be able to create jobs. Our pharmaceutical complex, which is being worked on teams, and jobs for the support teams who will be working in this pharmaceutical line. That is starting from unit. Then there we begin with now technical teams who are doing extraction, video balancing, compounding, sterilizing, filling, and bottling. Then after that, the logistics section where we are now in the people chain is jobs after a job creating another job, a job creating another job. So there is no way we can let this down. It is the way to go for creation and freedom.
All right, the conversation cannot get any bigger than this, although we even fit into the time that we've had. But always, investments call for big attention, and when you look at, I guess, been at the heart of so many things. So until we meet again, have a blessed day.